Hi, welcome, good morning everybody. My name is Chrissy and this is Penny. She's got her Shaun the Sheep toy to keep her a bit busy this morning. She's ready for a game and I'm going to have to take her for a walk pretty soon. But I thought I'd just pop on and shoot this quick video. Oh, she's funny, isn't she? For the 15th, because I know there's currently a lot going on globally that's kind of starting to overwhelm people and it's bringing up a lot of fear. And look, I know here in Australia we've had just ridiculous bills and laws and things being passed in Parliament, and I know I've heard back from a few of you guys in Canada there, and I did get quite breathless in that reading yesterday, and I realised like how this is really starting to be implemented now and it's coming quite fast. So I thought it'd be good to just do a bit of an updated reading and we'll just see like what comes up for the 15th. So I'll just get started. Yep. So they're really working on the separating and segregating again. So this is how they work the, it's saying like the pillars of society, but it's almost like if you think about a terraced garden or backyard where you have the retaining wall, then more yard, then another retaining wall, then more yard. Just trying to get my attention by dropping a toy. It's pretty funny, isn't it? So I'm getting this terracing effect of the yard. So, but this is what they're creating. They're trying to create the tiers of society. So they're actually starting to cause this separation and segregation in people again because this is what they want. They actually want the different tiers in society, and I think we pretty much know how this is all going to end up. It's going to end up with the elites at the top part of the garden. If you think about a terraced garden, it is like it steps up, and this is what I'm getting. They're causing a lot of this segregation and separation again to create the tiers in society. I'll just see what else we get around that. And this is what's not making people happy. People are not happy. They're being drawn towards something that they don't want. Now, I'll keep saying, and I'll just keep saying it again, people are seeing it. They are waking up. I mean, I know we think in the mass psychosis that people don't see anything and they have their rose-coloured like glasses on and they don't see anything. But you've got to remember that they're waking up out of the mass psychosis. I talked about the buds on the trees being an example of the visual of people waking up. It's like they've been hibernating and now they're waking up, and they're waking up because they have to wake up because this somebody in Canada wrote to me yesterday and said they're passing a lot of bills through around obviously protesting money, all these things which we know they're trying to implement around the world with their agenda. And these are the things that wake people up. You touch somebody's finance and that's going to be a hell of a wake-up call. The cost of living is a wake-up call. They're getting their wake-up calls. We've already woken up. So if you're watching this video, we're looking at it from the outside looking in. So it's easier and clearer for us to see it. But you've got to remember they're still trying to unravel the truths, and they're still trying to unravel, hang on, what's going on? And it's like they've come out of the water and they're shaking off the water so that they can dry out almost. It's like they've been for a swim and now they're trying to dry off and come onto dry land where they can feel more stable, and they're kind of shaking, and that's the stuff that wakes you up. It's like when a dog gets up in the morning, you'll often see they get out of bed, they have a big stretch, and then they'll sometimes have a big shake to sort of wake themselves up and get going. Well, that's what's happening with the people coming out of the mass psychosis. They're having to wake themselves up. Now, I said don't expect this to happen overnight because it's a process. People aren't just going to wake up like that. Oh, we're out of the mass psychosis, off we go. That's not how it works. And I always talk about really protecting yourself during these times because I do feel like April there's going to be a lot of shifts, a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of turbulent energy that's quite destructive in April, and it's not nice. I tell you what, I just keep getting it. People are going to be really angry. They are going to be so angry about being lied to when suddenly all these conspiracies are unfolding and they're becoming truths. That is terrifying for people to know that they've been lied to for the past couple of years. That's just that's just a huge thing, isn't it? So that's what I'm getting. I'm getting that rage is just building, and it's forming in a collective manner. It's not one or two people that are feeling frightened and scared. This is a lot of people, because like I said, not only are they scared of their future moving forward and what's going to happen to all their money and these kind of things. You imagine if someone starts searching around and plays, oh, what's the reset? Let's have a look. What a shock that would have to be to realise that you're all going to be put under the one umbrella and they're going to control your life. That's a big shock for people. And not only is it a shock around where your life is headed, but it's shock because you've put stuff in your body and now you're having to have it permanently because perhaps your immune system is dropping and you don't know what's going on and you're completely lost. And I talked about this yesterday, that they're now at their crossroads. People who have been complying are getting to a crossroads now where they have to start to make very good decisions moving forward. It's like, it's almost unbelievable that this is actually happening. People can't even believe that this is what their life has become. So what we probably went through, I would say like a year ago, anyone watching this video, you freedom fighters, you people with injuries or pushing back against mandates, these people are starting to go through that now. They're going through that turmoil where they're starting to feel isolated. So you've still got this is why the guides are talking about the terraced garden, because you've got, you know, I would say that we're pretty much the ones on the base level, which is not a bad place to be, actually, to be honest, because we're quite grounded. We're very level, we're very grounded, and we're feeling quite stable in our position. But then the tiers start to go up. If you think of a garden landscape, you get the retaining wall, then the grass, retaining wall, then the grass. So these people are all on these layers now. And now, of course, we've got the elites up at the very top of the landscape, which are controlling everything. But now you've got the breakdown in between. So you've got people who are starting to fall off onto the next terrace because they don't want to keep moving in that direction. So they're trying to jump off that terrace and get down to the lower ones because they don't want to be jabbed anymore, or they don't want to get the extra shots into their body. Plus, you've got people who are just jumping off now and don't want to go back to their old jobs as well, because that's a lot around mandates and regulations. Sorry, Penny's a bit distracting. She's very playful because she's only a year old. So a lot of people who don't want to go back to their old jobs because mandates, as we know, and this is another layer of people, the mandates are forcing people to jump ship from their jobs rather, but also if people are allowed to go back, which some of the teachers and things have been in certain parts of Australia here, they're not secure in their job. So people are now jumping off and wanting to join like the freedom fighters and things now, because they want security around their jobs moving forward as well, because they know that if they have lockdowns or things get shut down again or the mandates get passed in Parliament, that means that they haven't got that job security. Now, that's happened here in Australia. It's currently Easter, and all the flights and that were leaving Australia have actually, the airport was absolute chaos and madness, and I'm sure this has happened in your countries, and they're complaining that they're short-staffed. Now, they're blaming that, but they're the ones that mandated, sacked all their staff during the pandemic. So a lot of people have moved on. A lot of their air hostesses, ground staff, pilots moved on and got other occupations and other jobs where they could feel more secure. So this is where you get the tiering of the systems. Like you guys watching this video, we're down here, we're stable now. We know where we stand. We've made our choices. We've made our decision. We might have even stood up and protested against these things. And we've sort of had our journey. So now all these other people, you've got to imagine all these other people are kind of falling down the terrace now, and they're stumbling because they're trying to find their way into some sort of stability and clarity. So that's why they're giving me the analogy of the garden and the terraces, because we're all still, or the people in between, the elites, and probably, well, I would say most of us freedom fighters and people standing up against tyranny, we are stable and quite grounded. So people are searching for that feeling. People want to feel stable and they want to feel grounded. And that's why they're moving down the terraces of the garden, because they don't feel stable. It's like when you could fall off something, like, you know, if you think of a retaining wall, you could still stumble over that. So this is what's happening. They're stumbling through their journey of awakening now, and they are starting to wake up. So you've got to remember, like I said, it's not a fast process, but it's a process that is happening, and people are seeing it. People are waking from their coma and they are seeing it. And I know that's hard to even believe. I sometimes even doubt when the guides say that to me, but this is happening. You have to trust and have faith that the universe is delivering the things to these people to help to wake them up, because it is happening. Although Penny doesn't look very awake. She's yawning her head off here. So that's what I'm getting. I'm definitely getting that terraced garden and the layers in society that are having to make their choices of where they want to remain stable, or do they want to keep following that narrative of going into the dictatorship and like the, oh gosh, Penny, she's a hog. She's a camera hog. I'll just move her to the side. Yeah, they really want to feel stable, because now with the reset, they're feeling very uncertain. They're confused what's going on. Things aren't adding up, like I said yesterday. And that's what I'm definitely getting today, is that there is movement afoot. And a lot of changes that are happening. And it is waking people up. So keep that in your thoughts. Now, I'll see what else we get today. Kisses. Puppy kisses. Good girl. Oh, look, I get that people are seething. People have anger coming out their teeth. They are really, really angry. And when people are angry and their voice gets taken away from them, as we know here in Australia and in Canada, they're stopping a lot of these protest movements, people have no voice. And that is making people even more angry. To not be heard and not have anyone listen to you or understand what you're going through. If you have lost your business, imagine if you have completely lost your business, you've lost your job that you've worked in for 30 years, you've got no other skills. This is what is happening. So when they bring in these things, and I know in Canada that's very hard for you guys at the moment, there's a lot of bills being passed there. I did say that the other day, and they're very sneaky about how they go about doing it, as they are here in Australia. You've got to know that eventually that information comes out, and then this is what we want. We want these things to come out, because then people query, well, why would you be shutting down free speech? And these are the things that start to affect people, because they're kind of thinking, well, hang on a minute, you only lose free speech when you're living in like a dictatorship, or isn't that having an oppressive government? So that's what's going to happen. So if you are watching this video and you're finding yourself getting overwhelmed and angry, and sometimes I do too, when I heard that they'd passed the protest bills here in Australia, in New South Wales rather, as well, I got really mad, because I thought, oh, this is the beginning of it all. But you've got to still not hang on to that thing and take, because again, that's a trigger. And I know in Canada, you guys must be getting triggered all over the place. Like, that must be so hard. You're getting just everything coming at you guys over there, because we know that Trudeau is the right fighter, and he's always got to win no matter at what cost. Doesn't care about the people. Obviously, it was never about health and the people, and that's becoming more and more obvious. But we already know it. We already see it. But remember that this is for other people to wake up now, and for other people to see it. And sometimes, like I said, things have to collapse in order to be rebuilt. So that might mean that you know, other people, not if you're watching this video, but other people's lives kind of have to collapse in order for them to really see what's going on. So you've got to also start to look at the positive things that can come from this, because when they're implementing anything to do with the reset, I said yesterday here, one of the Prime Minister rather, that is going for the election, said he's going to build back better, and they're saying it in Queensland too. Their Premier up there said it as well. We're going to build back better. Whenever you hear those what is it, the Great Reset quotes, you know what's going on. So we know this is moving forward in their agenda. And that's just becoming more and more obvious to other people, because they question. And when people question, that's a good thing, because that's when they start to stand up. Now, so don't go straight back into your fear. Just stay really calm and centered. And like I always say, look after yourself. It's very crucial with these changes going forward, that you still remain really stable. And look, detachment is something I always talk about, living in the now. Enjoy the moment. I'm going to walk Penny soon. I'm going to enjoy my walk and look at the leaves. We've got autumn, so I'm looking at the leaves falling off the trees and breathing in the beautiful air. I'm not part of the metaverse yet. I'm sure you guys aren't. I notice there's a few ads now popping up, even on my channel, to do with the metaverse. There was one on beauty or something for girls the other day, and I thought, this is getting ridiculous. But we know where we're all headed. But we can still find that freedom within our own little part of the world. So I know a lot of people start to panic, and the anxiety comes up and the fear comes up. And look, that's a normal human response. When things get taken away from you or bills get passed, it can cause a lot of fear to rise up in people. But remember, you have very good perspective on seeing the truths. So you know what's going on. But imagine how fearful and anxious those people are that are now at that crossroads of injecting garbage into themselves. They're also not sure what's that doing to their body. What's their future? Is it the HIV? We don't know. A lot of people seem to be getting sick. And the dystopia is coming at the rate of knots. So, tyranny is not a nice thing to be living under. So people are going to start to see it. I mean, we've had in Australia here, and I'm sure you guys have, that push for the electric car, the hybrid car. And that's even overwhelming people. I know in Canada, you're going through a lot of that stuff. They're talking about maybe mandating things like that. So that puts an enormous amount of pressure on a lot of people. And this is globally. This isn't just Canada and Australia. This is stuff that's going on in New Zealand. Gosh, France, you're in the vote at the moment. We're waiting to see the outcome of that. It's going to be very interesting. There's so much going on globally in all countries that these shifts are happening. It's like that the ground has to shake to wake people up. But when it's happening in every country, I think no one could actually deny that the global reset is a thing much anymore, because this is happening globally. Each country isn't running differently. There might be one or two maybe that have had good success. I think Taiwan has, and I think parts of Africa. India's done all right by using different techniques to manage the virus. So, you've got to see that as much as we don't get shown things on the media and that, people still talk and people still have YouTube. Gosh, we all watch YouTube, don't we? And that's what I'm saying. This information does filter out eventually. It really does. Because, someone will talk to someone who's had an adverse reaction, or someone will feel safe. I know on Facebook, some of my friends, someone had an adverse reaction, and then there were 3 or 4 other people wrote about their adverse reactions, but they were too scared to do it themselves, but they sort of jumped onto somebody else's train and felt safe to do that. So this is what I'm saying. You've just got to have patience. I know it's really hard, and I know a lot of you say you're just sick of waiting, but we're not really waiting anymore. I mean, we know what their agenda is. We've come to some sort of terms with just the stupidity of it, and we've managed to remove ourselves and kind of get on with our lives, and maybe that's been for a positive reason. Like, I'm really enjoying just being out in nature, spending a lot of time in my garden. I'm sure you guys are doing a lot of the things, like getting back to your passions and spending more time with the kids, and just, even just going and having a coffee at a coffee shop can be quite relaxing when you can finally actually go and do it. I don't know what's happening in some of your countries over there, but in Australia we can actually go and have a coffee, sit and relax now. But, I know it's affected like a lot of countries, like Germany. I talk about the tourism there. There's a lot of people are probably scared now to go to Canada as well. If you guys are living in fear, I wouldn't imagine a lot of Aussies and things would want to travel to Canada, and vice versa. You probably don't want to come here to Australia. So this is what I'm saying about a lot of other countries as well. it's getting uncomfortable now. The travelling's still not great, and there's a lot of people that love to travel the world and do things. My sister is one of them. She travels all the time, and I can see she's even hesitant of which countries to go in. So this is what I'm saying. They've still got a lot of these crossroads going on in their life, because like I said, we're down here on the stable ground. We've already made our decisions, and we know we can't travel anywhere. Oh, we might be able to try travel domestically within our own countries, but we certainly can't travel overseas, and gosh knows how long that could take. That could be years. So we've just had to accept that. But this is the crossroads they're going through their waking up journey, because suddenly they got the jab to travel, and I know heaps of people that did that, and now they can't go to this country, they can't go to that country. You need another vaccine, a special global passport, I think it is, even a while ago, just to go to Fiji, just for a tropical nice holiday. I think Bali's opened up, but you still got to be double jabbed to go to Bali. Look, there's a lot of things that they're having to face now. Like, you know, it's kind of that never-ending story, really, of what else do we need now? What do you mean we don't have our freedom back? So now they're the ones that don't really, if you think about it, have their freedom back. Because now they're starting to think, well, if I don't have that fourth jab, am I going to be classed as under-vaccinated? Or am I still going to be able to keep my green pass? So these are what you've got to remember is going on in their minds. And that's why they're waking up. Because they're questioning. What ifs? They've got so many what ifs now. We don't have those what ifs. We've all detached. So that's why I get the terraced garden. They're all going through their experiences now of trying to find their stability. So they're looking for that really flat, even ground to stand on, to be stable in their jobs, to be stable in their vaccine passports, to be stable in being able to travel overseas, being stable in their jobs and having security that there's not going to be lockdowns. So many things that they're having to be faced with that we're not faced with that. Some of you might be. I know that some of you watching these videos might have already been double jabbed or boosted or this kind of thing. And that's great. Look, you've probably woken up and you're starting to see the real agendas that they're rolling out now. And that's great. Protect yourself. Protect your immune system from the things that they're putting in you. There's not enough information out there when it comes to trials. There is not enough info. And as we know, the Pfizer data is coming out every month. I'm not sure for what period, but there's a lot of information coming out now. And honestly, it's well worth checking out if you haven't had a bit of a look at some of that. It's quite astonishing. So look, I want you, if you're watching this video, I just want you to keep that in your mind today. I want you to know that you're the ones that are on the stable ground. And you're looking, you're looking out at the chaos and the, I could say carnage that's currently going on out in the world, in the rest of the world, because you're not involved with that anymore. You are detached. But just know that these people are having to go through all those things that I just said. There's all different aspects of people's lives that they're having to take the rose-coloured glasses off and start to see the truths, because the truths are coming up right in front of them now. The veils have lifted and the truths are coming out. You know, like I said, here in Australia, there's a YouTube channel, Philip Van Den Berg, and he's got, they're having Senate hearings now about, and they're interviewing people about their injuries. It's all recorded. It's getting out there. People have been injured. People have lost their jobs. So many people are talking about their situations, the mandates, and how it's affected their lives. And this is what we want. This is happening. So all you've got to do is just stay down on the bottom terrace of the garden. Maybe get your lullabout loafer chair and sit back in the nice warm sunlight. Perhaps make a cocktail and watch everybody as they awaken and open up now to the truths that are, and I'm telling you, the truths are really coming at them now. There's no slowing down. This is happening. What was it? What's that saying? Something about something about a rock gathers no moss or something. Is it fast moving rock gathers no moss? Oh, I've lost the saying. I can't remember it. I think that's it. Meaning that things are happening really fast now. And when things are happening fast, moss doesn't have time to grow on a rock. It's something like that. I can't remember it. But anyway, leave it down below if anyone knows that saying. But it's completely, I've gone blank. Oh, getting older, you just lose your memory. But it's about things aren't staying stagnant and still now. And, you know, moss tends to grow on things that are, you know, a bit stagnant. But now they're saying the energy's flowing really fast and they're having to open up and find their stability. So that's what I get about the awakening process. It's really starting to happen now. And I did say there'd be a lot of movement in April. So fingers, there's still a lot more to come because we're only on the 14th. 15th rather. Oh gosh, I'm getting myself all muddled up today. Look, have a great Easter, everybody. Take care. I love you guys watching my channel. It's great to have people's feedback and we chat to each other down below. I love when you guys chat to each other down below because you know you're not isolated in your thoughts and your madness. And look, please subscribe if you haven't, and hit the bell notification as well so you know when my videos come up. Hit the like buttons, that always helps. And I'll say goodbye from Penny and goodbye from me. Take care, everybody. Happy Easter, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye from Australia.